Off of the timelessly classic album, 40 Ounce to Freedom, Sublime and Date Rape on Rockin' a 5-3. It's AD. And in celebration of the 25th anniversary of that timeless classic, we are joined on the phone now by Bud Gaugh, drummer of Sublime. Bud, thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
Doing great.
You're getting ready to celebrate, and it seems unbelievable, 25th anniversary of 40 Ounce to Freedom.
I know. That is incredible. I can't believe it myself. My friend Z-Man came up the other day to hang out and go golfing and stuff, and so I was going to go meet him for lunch with my two boys, and oldest buddy, he says, Dad, how long have you known this guy? I was like, I met him in junior high school. He's like, so how old were you then? It's like, starting to think back, it's like, wait a minute, that was like 36 years ago. It's like, I'm not even 36 years old, you know, in my head.
Well, all right, so I wondered if you could confirm or deny a bit of a legend around the recording of the album. True story that you did it on sort of stolen studio time at Cal State Dominguez Hills.
Yeah, it's absolutely true.
That's amazing. So there was a student there that offered you some recording time, and if the legend is true, it closed at 9 o'clock. You guys snuck in at like 9:15 and bribed janitors with beer and stuff to let you just do what you're doing?
Oh, yeah. Like steal or borrow?
Which category would you put this into? Is that borrowing?
I think it was, yeah, definitely borrowing. We didn't take anything with us, so definitely borrowing.
No, it's an amazing story, and it always sort of inspired me, and it was one of those things where I was hoping it was true, because here we have this record that went all over the world and made a huge difference in the lives of millions of people, and it was done by sneaking into a college recording studio at night. Did you ever think, while you were borrowing studio time from Cal State Dominguez Hills, that 25 years later you'd be doing something like this?
I mean, you know, at the time we thought that we were playing the best music in the world, and it was just the only problem we were having was convincing everybody else of that fact. So, that was our ultimate goal. You know, Eric and I at a young age went and saw some rock bands playing. You know, I think it was The Who and The Clash at the LA Coliseum, and we were on the 40-yard line in a triple pit during the Clash's set. We look at each other and it's like, we're going to be up there someday. This is what we're going to do.
Wow.
It's going to be this big. And that's what our plan was from like age 12, 13 on up. So, I mean, it's amazing and incredible to think that, you know, we haven't toured since 96 and they're still playing this stuff on the radio. It is, you know, to me, it's kind of, you know, it's insane. It's insane that it's still going on there, because we have nothing but the fans to thank about that. You know, fans, they're the greatest people on the planet. And, you know, hats off to them for keeping the love going.
You know, usually my go-to question when I get a chance to talk to musicians is, what was that moment where you realized that this is it? Music is it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I got to do this with my life. But it sounds like it was in that triple pit watching the Clash at the LA Coliseum for you.
Yeah. You know, I had told my parents that I don't want to play ball anymore, and I just want to do music. And so I took private lessons. I was in the school orchestra, the marching band, the jazz band there. I was also in the Long Beach Junior Concert Band, which did parades and stage shows. And then Eric and I had our, you know, bands, you know, as we were growing up. And it was just I mean, I would play drums until my hands would bleed. Blisters would fall off. I'd wrap tape around or super glue the blisters and back on and keep on playing. You know, it was just, that's just what I did. And so, you know, Eric was the same way. Just that, you know, all he did was music. You
know, and it's good to hear that, too. It's good to hear that even though you were just going in, using borrowed recording time overnight, that you genuinely believed that this was the greatest music in the world, and you just had to convince other people. Because it doesn't matter what it is you're doing or what you're trying to do with your life, that sense of belief and sense of purpose, I think there's a real lesson for people, probably your kids amongst others, that if you really believe in something, you just do it. No matter what it takes, you do it.
Yeah. Dedication, perseverance, and, you know, suffering for your craft. You know, so you gotta you got to practice, hours on end and try to, perfect your career from the inside, and it does a strong mental attitude, positive mental attitude on things. Because that's just it, if you believe in yourself and you put your mind to it, you can do anything you want.
You mentioned positive mental attitude. Were you like a bunch of other people I know in the hardcore scene where you sort of like got into Napoleon Hill through HR from Bad Brains and were like, learn it, live it, love it?
That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Got my PMA.
Yeah, PMA all day. What?
Yeah.
Honestly, that's so cool because from the outside looking in, people look at Sublime and go, this was utter chaos, like in a great, awesome punk rock way. This was utter chaos, but it's so cool to know that there was that unified purpose and determination and positive mental attitude behind what you did, because it really did. And still to this day, it really overtook the whole world. Sublime is like a movement that years and years later, you said you haven't played since 1996, shows no sign of slowing down.
Yeah.
So, all right, I'm going to go set some goals and go for them based on what Bud Gaugh told me to do. But one of the ways in which it's continuing to go is in celebration of the 25th anniversary of 40 Ounce to Freedom, AleSmith Brewing Company on Saturday, 5 to 8, you're launching the Sublime Mexican Lager.
That's right, 40 Ounce to Freedom beer. It's delicious, too. And these guys really, really hit the mark, when we told them what kind of beer we liked and the flavors that we liked in that kind of beer. They said, look, we got your number right here.
Uh-huh.
We have a proprietary Mexican yeast and Vienna-style hops that were introduced into Mexico way, way back, which gives that Mexican beer flavor. And, we told them, like, these are, like, the flavors that we like, Negro Modelo, Bohemia, and they hit it spot on. I mean, it's crisp and refreshing. It's not too heavy on the tongue or on the gullet. It's like you could toss these babies back all day long at the beach and not have a problem.
I just got to point out, you're not a guy that's just slapping their name on a can of beer for a marketing wing. Based on what you said, the same way that you were in the marching band and in the orchestra practicing paradiddles and double stroke rolls for years and years till your fingers blistered up, sounds like you really know your beer.
Oh, yeah. No, we've been... That was the thing. It's like there was Mexican beer always in the cooler when we were touring, backstage at the venues and stuff. Eric and I had a trailer down in Baja, and and Brad would come down there with us. He'd been going to Baja surfing for years, so we'd go and camp out, surf down there, and stay for weeks on end. So we got them to the Mexican beer flavor at a young age. I think it was probably about 18. My first trip across the border, trying to bring some Coronas back,
So you were way ahead of the game. So 25th anniversary of 40 Ounce of Freedom being celebrated at AleSmith Brewing Company Saturday from 5 to 8, launching the Sublime Mexican Lager. And it's very important that people know there's going to be a special toast to Bradley Noel there as well, right as the event kicks off, right?
Absolutely. I'm going to spill some out for my friend.
I want to thank you for taking some time to chat with me about all things Sublime, all things 40 Ounce of Freedom, your Sublime Mexican Lager. And you know what? I've loved your band for so many years, and I had no idea the type of person you were and what went into everything you do. And it just makes me love the music you've created that much more. As the great HR once said, PMA all day. That's super cool.
Yeah. Hey, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much for being a part of our radio family. Thank you so much for creating records that mean just as much to us today, if not more, than the day you made them. Can't wait to celebrate the 25th anniversary of 40 Ounce to Freedom with you. Thank you so much, Bud.
Hey, thank you for sharing the love, brother.